Are you paying attention? Good. If you're not listening carefully, you will miss things. Important things. I will not pause, I will not repeat myself, and you will not interrupt me. You think that because you're sitting where you are and I am sitting where I am, that you are in control of what is about to happen. You're mistaken. I am in control. Because I know things that you do not know. What I will need from you now is a commitment. You will listen closely and you will not judge me until I am finished. If you cannot commit to this, then please leave the room. But if you choose to stay, remember you chose to be here. What happens from this moment forwards is not my responsibility. It's yours. Pay attention.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good. This is episode 143, and today we are talking about the Imitation Game. I am Sean Orad, and joining me tonight is Andrew Heil Bloody Hitler Jimison.
Hello, Governor.
All right.
Are we doing imitations tonight?
I believe we're talking with English accents tonight.
Who
The
shall
whole
I
time.
imitate?
How about Winston Churchill?
Sir Winston Churchill. Yes, he was quite
a bloody-
fat man, and he loved his cigars and brandy.
A bloody
A lot
good
of
chap.
times he would drink brandy and do nothing else.
I really
He also enjoyed Winnie the Pooh, I hear.
That's actually true.
So there you go.
I want you to do the read in that voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Winston Churchill voice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So go ahead and drink some nails.
Scotch.
Yeah, and some bleach and get that voice nice and gravelly, and we'll wait for that in just a minute. Joe doesn't like sandwiches, Protakovich.
Wow, don't let Dad hear that.
Oh, right, I didn't even think about that. Right.
All right.
Holy crap, Sam is in jail. Just kidding, Vector.
Yeah, I just got to say that it's getting extremely hard to follow you down to Clemson. There's some stairs right around your house.
Yeah, there's a lot of stairs.
That to look in the windows at night, I kind of tripped a little bit and was out of commission for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm back.
You better
though.
watch that. If the Nazi finds out that you're walking around the house past 9:30, then they may get kicked out of the house. I'm just saying.
Yeah, our HOA lady might actually come chase you out. We actually got
Yo, you just
Why do you
drop
think I've got a
PA.
broken leg? Yeah.
she chased you with that little dog of hers, probably.
She probably had a poop bag or something.
She probably attacked you with like a copy of our notice. Anyway, no one else cares. Thank you for listening to Cheap Seat Reviews. So for those of you who've been listening the last few weeks, Sam is finally back. Yay! Hey, Sam.
Hey, folks.
He
I'm
broke
back.
he broke his leg. He is still kind of out of commission, and apparently the medicine is making him cough or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
all right?
sorry about that.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Okay,
I'm
good.
doing good. I'm stuck in a chair, but otherwise fine.
All right. And so Corny for the next 2 weeks is actually doing a concert. He's performing something somewhere important. Basically, they're paying him and we don't, so that's why he's there. And so JP, my brother-in-law, is filling in again. So his name is Joe, but I call him JP because that's what I've always called him. So y'all are just going to have to get over it. Anyway, this is 2014's The Imitation Game. And I'm really excited to talk about this movie. Who here had seen it before this viewing?
Not I.
I had not seen it.
Nor I.
Oh, good. I'm the only one that watched it beforehand. Cool. So that'll be interesting to see how everybody's opinion of it is. So if you don't know what the Imitation Game is, it is not people sitting around trying to do, what's that guy he does for ESPN? That's all he does, right? Frank Caliendo. This is not the movie about Frank Caliendo. That's not what this movie is about. It's
just so you know, I knew that name.
I'm actually super impressed.
Yeah.
That's also because he's really funny. I love Frank. Not that I know him, but anyway. So the Imitation Game. So Andrew, in his best Winston Churchill voice, will tell you what the Imitation Game is.
During World War II, mathematician Alan Turing. This is terrible. This is not Winston Churchill. I'll just do it normally. Okay. During World War II, mathematician Alan Turing tries to crack the enigma code with the help from fellow mathematicians.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much the plot.
That actually kind of is.
Yeah, that is. That's it. Yeah.
For once, IMDb made it short and accurate.
Yeah.
So bravo to the staff writer that did that one.
I will say, before we get started, the clip that you played at the beginning of our show today is exactly how I begin every class that I teach every day.
Now pay attention. You think because you're sitting there and I'm up here that you guys are in control. You were wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, the weird thing is I was planning on doing some grading while the movie was on, and that very first scene I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to pay attention to this darn thing.
Cumberbatch
so I put my computer down and proceeded to watch the movie without any interruptions.
Yeah, if he's telling you at the start of the movie you need to pay attention, then damn it, you better pay attention.
Yeah, you'll pay attention.
Right.
When old bendable Cumberbun tells you to do something, you better do it.
That's right. So I guess we'll just go ahead and start off with our initial thoughts. So Andrew, you as always will lead off, sir.
All right. Well, like I said, this is the first time viewing, and I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I'm pretty sure that it won some awards, and I can see why. Oscar winner for best writing, I think, and this, and probably some others. It really was written well. I enjoy a movie that's based on a true story if it's done well. You know, we saw The Finest Hours. That one, based on a true story, overindulged, overdone by Hollywood, and I didn't enjoy it as much. This one, it probably was the same, but I didn't notice it because everything was still realistic. You know, we weren't taking a boat under the ocean and coming out the other side of a wave. Everything that happened, in my mind at least, that could be the real story. I don't know this story, the historical aspects of this story quite so well. I did know of the enigma code or enigma, but I hadn't heard this story told quite this way, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought that the actors did well, and I think that even Keira Knightley did a good job.
I was actually about to say the same thing.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. Thought it was done very well.
Right on. Okay. JP.
I'd have to agree with the same thing. It kept your attention the whole time. I mean, like, I was taking notes, which, by the way, my wife made fun of me for. Really taking notes? I'm like, you got to be prepped. You can't just watch the movie and then expect to remember all this shit, especially with this. I mean, there were so many times where I was just, like, so into the movie. I was like, oh, wait, what the hell just happened there? And then I'd have to go back and watch it again and try to figure out some of the finer details. But it was very enjoyable the whole way through. Like, it wasn't ever boring. Even though it was World War II, there wasn't a lot of fighting or anything like that. It was very enjoyable.
Okay, cool. And Sam.
I don't know what to think about this one. There were times when it was pretty boring to me. I liked it. I thought what's his name? Boulder Dash, Bumblebee, Copperpot, whatever his name was. Benedict Arnold did a very good job. I mean, he does really awkward characters very, very well. Um, and I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit. But I had a hard time kind of sympathizing with him as a character, I guess. Um, but over the time of the movie, the first part of the movie, I was bored to death. But over the span of the movie, you started. I think it started to work its magic, where all of a sudden you did feel kind of like he was growing on you, almost like he grew on the people that he was around in that program. And by the end of the movie, I mean, I wasn't devastated, but man, that's a heartbreaker to find out what really happened to him, and just how and why it happened to him is just sickening. But it was interesting. It's a neat story. Am I right to say that Turing did he develop the computer? Was that
He
his
developed.
brainchild?
Yeah, he developed what basically most people up until the mid 60s called Turing machines, which would later be referred to as computers. So he
Okay.
basically is the kind of inventor of what we would consider the modern computer.
Yeah, and that was interesting to me. As someone who really gets into World War II, I knew that Turing had cracked the enigma, but I didn't know it was a computer that he made that cracked the enigma, and that was just kind of interesting in itself, and just the whole process of it all was interesting to me. Best part of the movie, hands down, though, was the Winston Churchill letter, and all of a sudden getting the lead position because of that one letter he sent. So, pretty good movie. I don't think I'd watch it again, but it's worth a watch, I think. How about you, Sean?
Okay. Well, once again, shocking. Sam and I will have differing opinions on a movie. I thought this movie was fantastic. I've seen it twice now. I can't wait to watch it again for whatever reason. I watched it with my wife both times. And she and I I'm just enamored with Benedict Cumberbatch and his performance in this movie. Sam, I disagree. You say he's unrelatable or unsympathetic. I mean, Sam and JP, or not Sam, Andrew and JP both teach in the public education system, and Sam, you do at the
College level.
At the college level, and my wife has taught special ed for 8 years, and my mom's done it for 43. So I'm kind of like JP, like we're kind of in that world a little bit just by association, right? So in the first 10 minutes of the movie, Sarah's like, "Oh, he's got Asperger's."
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like savant or Asperger's, just by the fact that he couldn't relate to people. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
there was when he said he didn't understand jokes, that in itself was not a joke,
Yeah. And so I'm instantly sympathetic to his character because it's like from the rest of the movie, no one will understand him, and no one will understand the way his brain thinks because back in 1939, people didn't know that thing. They just thought he's weird and dumb, and not dumb, but he was just weird and awkward, and he doesn't understand things like the way normal people think, and therefore he's something to be shunned and feared. And so, the entire movie when he's doing these characters, which, some people say, and it's funny, I was talking to one of my students about this movie the other day, and they said, "Oh, I didn't like that movie because he's an asshole." I'm like, he's not an asshole. That's the thing. House was an asshole, right? The TV show House. He was an asshole to be an asshole, right? But, this movie, and even characters like Sheldon Cooper in Big Bang Theory, it's not because they're mean to be mean. It's because they don't know how to act. They don't know those social norms that we do. They don't understand, kind of social cues, and he's just speaking his mind, and what's coming out of his brain, out of his mouth, is just unfiltered, whatever. What is that? Is Chad back? What am I hearing?
It did sound like a Chad zap
Yeah.
on there.
Anyway. That's weird. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pause. All right, whatever. Anyway, so that's that. So I again Sam, I poke fun of you what you call boring. I call, world building and scene building, and I never was bored. I was always engaged. This movie was once again one of those movies where I forgot to write notes for like 40 minutes. And so
even the second time,
even the second time, which is funny, and my clips will kind of show that. I have clips at 20 at the beginning of the movie, 20 minutes, 36 minutes, and then an hour and a half into it. I just forgot. And now, in fairness, there's some moments that are kind of in the middle of the movie that are really kind of deep and hard. There's no reason that I should capture any moment when they're talking about how they've cracked the code, and all of a sudden they realize, oh, there's this convoy that's about to get destroyed. So anyway, so some of the things that I'd like to kind of get into tonight, other than the actual movie, is just some of the kind of. Oh, okay. Some of the.
What was that?
I think JP forgot to turn his phone.
That's not Chad.
Or somebody forgot their phone. Some of the heavy stuff that this movie kind of gives us. I mean, these men in the room were responsible for the lives of other people, and that was a heady responsibility. And I also would be remiss if I did not say this. I did not intend for this to happen, and I did not realize this until after we recorded last week. But today, as we record, is December 7th. And today is
the day will live in infamy.
Today is the 75th anniversary of the attack of Pearl Harbor. So,
yep.
So I don't know if it's fitting that I picked a World War II movie to be this week, though it's, I don't know, irony certainly isn't the word, but interesting that I would pick a movie that has almost zero to do with the Americans in this movie, but. Once I had realized that next week was December 7th, it was too late to switch it over. I did, in fact, look to see if Pearl Harbor was streaming. It is not. It's
thank God.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're right.
I'd have broke my leg on that one.
I will simply say this: the first hour of that movie is unbearable, and then the last hour is actually pretty good. But it's getting through that first hour that's pretty rough. The love triangle and all of that is pretty hard to get through. Once the worst, but once the
Other
war
than that, I mean, it was just spectacular.
Yeah, but once the war starts, it's actually pretty fun. I will say
Other
this.
than that, Miss Lincoln, how did you like the play?
I mean, okay, and here's even more to pile on. The war historians have even come out and said, yeah, the things they were doing in those planes would have fallen apart. Like, they would have blown themselves apart. You couldn't do that. Like the dogfighting they were doing. But whatever, doesn't matter. It's a dumb movie that's got a beautiful soundtrack, and some kind of cool CGI. And Cuba Gooding Jr. shoots down a plane, which is kind of cool. Other than that, yeah, it's a shit film.
Cuba.
So we did this movie instead. So, I honestly don't think I would have actually switched it out. I think I would have said, "Hey guys, Pearl Harbor streaming," and I think you guys would have.
We would have revolted.
In group me, I think all would have said no. And I have said, JP is kind of unaware of this, but I have given you guys the power of veto before. If we ever start watching a movie and one of us says, this is not worth our time, then we can certainly veto it.
Wait, we can do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I give you guys full power. If you guys start watching something and you're like,
I don't know, but sometimes some of those really crap movies are the good ones to talk about.
Yeah, I'm not talking about just shit films that we do. I'm talking about something that just is like so bad that there's no redeeming. Like, we're not even going to have fun talking about it, you know?
Rubber?
Yeah, maybe Rubber. But that one was a listener, and we, at that point, were so new that we couldn't afford to turn away listeners. Not that we can now, but...
I feel so used.
Yeah, well, Yeah, get over it. So anyway, yeah, no, let's. So anyway, so the movie, right? I tell you what, this is one of those movies where, and they do this in other movies where, I'll wait until the microphone stops moving.
Sorry.
That's okay. I know you're limited in your mobility, so it's fine. Yeah. This is one of those movies where kind of the whole movie, first of all, it's a trope, right? The movie is told as a backflash or a flashback.
Backflash?
A backflash.
Flashbang.
Which is funny. I actually wrote backflash and then had to correct it to flashback because I was
That's actually reverse flash, is what he's called.
Yeah.
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 Flash. There you go. Corny would have done it had he been here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Poor
Anyway,
JP. How in the heck did you rope him into this?
how did I rope JP in this?
Oh, what? What? I'm back. Sorry.
He has the I don't know.
You promised him beer, didn't you?
I don't know. Did I? I mean, I can get.
If he did, I'm dry right now. Like, there's nothing in the house.
There's not a whole lot I can do about it now, but I can help. I can hook you up at Christmas.
All right, sounds good.
That's next time I'll see you.
There we go.
Sounds good.
So yeah. Crap. I don't know. I'm trying to think of where I want to go with this movie. So yeah, what I was going to say is so this happens in movies a lot, right? Where what kind of kickstarts the movie is a misunderstanding, right? So the cop decides, I'm going to delve into this investigation and I'm going to do all this research and I'm going to, basically fraud the federal government by doing these documents, right? Because I think he's a spy, right? This is in the time where everyone's a flippin' spy. And I hate that stuff. I really do. It killed me in the movie. I mean, it was good and probably real, but it just killed me. Anyway, that stuff pissed me off. Mark Strong, no. I mean, doesn't that like? Don't you ever watch a movie and then they're like, "Oh, you're a spy." Like, wait, what? No. I mean, even that stupid freaking Indiana Jones movie where right after he nuked the fridge. The freaking FBI comes in and they accuse him of being a Soviet spy, and he's like, "I just freaking got nuked in a fridge for you. Shut your face." And another wise.
I've forgotten that one by now.
It's fine.
Kind of put it out of my
Tried
mind.
to block that out.
No, you should. Yep. You should definitely do that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I love Mark Strong. What?
Wasn't that based on a true story too?
Yeah, getting nuked by a fridge. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be a spy to have cool gadgets to get you to survive that,
I'm sure that's
true.
Sure, that's real. In fact, it's funny when I was watching that movie with somebody, and he's talking about how he used to run with Pancho Villa. He was like, I want to watch that story. Forget this one that we're at the aliens. I want to go watch him in Mexico with Pancho Villa. That sounds great. Anyway,
you digress.
I do. I'm going to do that a lot. Mark Strong is great, and I love him in this movie. And I'm so used to him being a bad guy. I think I mentioned that when Corny. JP, have you seen The Kingsman?
Yes.
Oh, I love
It's such a good movie.
It's
very.
So as soon as I saw Mark Strong, he played Merlin in Kingsman. I was like, oh, he's going to be the bad guy, right? Because you always have to have. In a spy movie like that, you have to have someone who's on the inside. And they never did. He's always the good guy. So as soon as I saw him in this movie, I was like, he's going to be the bad guy. Well, no, actually not. He's actually still a good guy. He's kind of a jerk, but
he has to be.
But he's a spy. He's
Absolutely.
the spy. He's like the birth of spies, or not the birth of spies. That's not a phrase.
He's 001.
Yeah, really. In fact, are you ready for some trivia ahead of time since we're here?
No.
Let's do it.
Oh, Sam says no. No, I don't want your trivia. Well, I'm going to tell it to you anyway, Sam, because you haven't been on the show for 2 weeks, and I don't care what you say.
Okay.
So his name in the show is Stuart Menzies. Like
Mimsy?
Yeah, Menzies.
Mimsy.
And
Stuart Mimsy.
So
That's about as British as you get right there. Goodness gracious.
It's even more British than Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a real person, and what's his beak?
Vanderbeek?
You always say that. Ian Fleming, who wrote the first Bond, novel, based M first from that guy as kind of the head of MI6. So that's what M stands for. So I thought that was kind of cool, actually. I guess we'll do this first. I'll do this. Director Morton Tidlum. Morton. Yeah, really. He is a Norwegian.
Yeah.
And he has done this movie and a bunch of other movies that no one's ever heard of, but he's done some other stuff, but I don't know any of it. He's also doing something now called The Last Day of Night.
That makes sense.
It stars Eddie Redmayne. A rival.
Is he a transvestite in it?
It just says a rival forms between American entrepreneurs George Westinghouse and Thomas Edison.
Yep, there you go, Thomas Edison.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So anyway, there's he's doing that.
You seen Thomas Edison's a transvestite?
You didn't know that?
Did not know that.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Learn something not real every day.
Little known fact. Yeah.
And if it came from Sam, it is not a fact.
Tommy the tranny.
I mean, seriously, Sam, you really are the Barney Stinson of this podcast. Except the whole sleeping with a lot of women part. That's definitely not you.
No. I never
He
has
does
been.
suit up occasionally, though, when he's not in a cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. It happens. So he directed this, and I thought actually the direction was really good. But what I think somebody mentioned, the writing. The writing in this movie was fantastic. I loved it. I loved the kind of the wordplay and the back and forth, and this is gonna sound really whatever, and JP can help me out here a little bit. But last weekend, JP and I were playing the video games on Xbox. We were playing Titanfall 2, very fun game. And in the background, literally behind me, my wife was watching all of the new Gilmore Girls shows.
Oh, they're out already? Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Stop it.
So
I literally tried to spoon out one of my eyes.
And in fact, it's not your eyes you got to worry about, your ears, because they never stop talking.
They never
stop talking. In fact, when there's moments of silence, I actually look back to make sure that her iPad hasn't turned off or the internet's not broken. Because it's just so fast paced. But there's moments of this movie that reminded me of that, where especially with the interview beginning with him and Lord Tyrion. Or Lord Tywin, I should say. Sorry, Lord Tywin from your Game of Thrones. Where they were just kind of back and forth, and it kind of reminded me of that. So anyway, sorry for that little comparison. Don't worry, he doesn't die in this movie on the shitter. Spoiler.
It's not the shitter, it's the loo.
Well, no, it wouldn't even been the loo back then. What do they call it in Game of Thrones? The privy.
Oh yeah, but I'm
shit
talking.
House.
This is the British.
It used to be shit house.
Being in a British film, he's gonna sit on the loo for a couple of minutes and.
You changed your name to Latrine. Yeah, it used to be shit house. Oh, it's a good change. Anyway, wow, nailing him into the floor. Now that's some crazy form of hazing. Sam, if you would have ever done that to us, we would have all shot you. I'm just saying. No, nothing. No. I wish we would have done that to you. No, nothing.
I was thinking we lost him because my screen just went down to one other person.
Oh
so.
no, yeah, he's gone. Look at that. He's no longer on Skype. Freaking call him out.
Good thing somebody's paying attention. Jeez.
I don't have Skype pulled up on my screen when I'm doing the show.
Oh, okay.
I can't. I have my notes up.
So I mean, it was funny that you mentioned that though. At that point where he's he realized that being mean was that as long as they saw it, they were getting off on it because he was panicking, and then he stopped, and then you could kind of hear they're like, hey, you're still alive, is everything okay? And I'm like, oh, okay, now they're starting to feel sorry for this guy, and then they just left.
They just left, yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're out. And I'm thinking, he's still quiet under there, like, who is going to find him
Yeah.
but his love?
Oh,
Christopher Robin.
Christopher. No, yeah, you're right, man. That scene was intense and crazy, and he's right. I mean, it speaks to violence. I mean, people, they like violence because of what it does, but if you take away the enjoyment, then it doesn't. It's just not as fun. And we've lost Sam completely now. It says he's now away and he's not answering my text. So it will be like the last 2 weeks.
I think maybe he had to go to the loo.
You think so? Well,
Maybe.
I don't know, but with his foot there, it probably is a bedpan.
I was going to say, with a broke leg, that ought to be interesting.
Okay, I guess I'll stop and hopefully he can join us. So we've lost Sam, and he's not answering our phone calls or anything. So we're just gonna keep trudging, and hopefully he comes back in. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Hickory ran out of internet or something. They didn't pay their bill or something. I don't know. The city. I mean.
Send out a carrier pigeon.
Yeah, they might have to. During the break, JP, what were you saying?
Oh, that when they were all sitting in the room, and they're like, "Oh, this is the lead boy. This is our man from MI6," and they're like, "What? There is no MI6. It's just MI5." And he's like, "Yeah, right on."
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, there's only 5 branches of military intelligence." He's like, "Yeah, good. We're doing our job."
Yeah, just so you knew that was coming, right?
I do
Hey,
love.
Sam's not a spy, is he?
I don't know. I hope not. No, he's way too clumsy to ever be a spy. I do like going back to Kingsman, which I want to do for this show one day because it's just such a fantastic movie. But there's a bit when he's like, the CIA, MI6, Mossad, Beijing, none of them, know who this guy is. And he says, Beijing, they don't even have a name for their intelligence company. That's keeping a secret. I thought that was pretty great. Sam is yelling back, but where did you go? Sam just yelled back at me in GroupMe instead of like actually answering Skype. I think that would probably be.
His nightly shutdown.
You back, Sam? Sam?
There he is.
There we are.
What the hell happened? Your computer turned off?
Every night at 10:09 it starts shutdown.
Gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening?
I was trying to be nice and quiet about it, but it took a little longer than usual to get back up.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Where were we?
No, we were just kind of having a little fun about the fact that the guy was like, "Oh, I work for MI6. There is no MI6." He's like, "Yeah, you keep thinking that." Again, he is great. I love Mark Strong. He's fantastic in everything that he's in. Sexism is great as always. Oh, Mom, you need to go upstairs with the secretaries. But again, it's the 40s. I understand, but still, it's always good.
Was she a real character in real life?
Yes, she was real. According to Turing's nephew, she, however, was not that attractive. She was more of a plain woman, but
Well, when I think
British.
of British
Probably.
people, I don't think of attractive people.
we didn't have any actresses from the 1980s available, so we had to get somebody else.
Although Keira Knightley, isn't she? I thought she was British.
She is.
Well, I'm
Johnny Depp.
talking like,
Johnny
older
Depp
actors.
is not British.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, you've seen Pirates.
I have
No,
seen Pirates.
You're thinking of Selma Hayek.
Yeah, who is also
Well,
not
no.
British.
Selma Hayek is Mexican.
She's not.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's right.
She actually is from Wales.
Yeah,
No.
probably was that on the Pacific
No,
Coast?
Selma Hayek is not from.
Oh, not Selma Hayek. I was thinking of Catherine. I'm just so used to arguing with Sam about that. Yeah, Selma Hayek
I
actually
think
is
we've
from.
succeeded in confusing Sean.
Hey, you've broken me.
It was a long time coming, but the payoff was worth it.
No, that was a good one. That was good.
That would be funny to hear, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No, you're right. She's of course, that's where you went. I was just like, oh no, she's British. She's from Wales. Oh no, wait. But Johnny Depp is not British. So anyway.
I think he wants to be.
He does want to be, but he certainly isn't. I popped online today and it had my Yahoo page. First thing came up, and none of those little stories at the bottom. I didn't click on it, but the first one of them was like, Johnny Depp rated the most overpaid actor in Hollywood again. Like,
Ooh.
yeah. So, but hey, they keep making them Pirates of the Caribbean movies, so
Yep.
keep going back to the old well. Maybe you'll find something interesting. Anyway, what? Oh, of course, this stupid cop thinks he's a Soviet spy because everyone was. Yeah, I mentioned that. Oh, he even gets what? He even gets that her parents don't approve of her being with men. I don't remember what. Yeah, it's that bit where he's having to basically kind of not lie but change the job of what she was going to do so that her parents would let her go. Such a strange time in our life when that mattered, but like she's 25. What is she can, but whatever. As one Chad might say,
it was a different time.
Oh, thanks, Chad. May he rest in peace. So, it's easy for us to see that his machine will work, but because we know, but I get why his coworkers are pissed. Man, apparently I was not good at taking notes. I get why all of his coworkers kind of hated him because he was kind of aloof and just this is the way you're gonna do it and all that stuff. But it was kind of frustrating to watch because it's like just let him do his thing. You know he's gonna solve it. He needs to have that moment. He basically needed a Popeye moment to have that brilliant idea. And he just took some hot girl at the bar to do it. So. Good job. Team finally comes around, which is always good, especially when the bad guy, but when the boss is about to come in and break the machine. He's going to get arrested for paying a prostitute and being gay, which is super frustrating and sad.
Yeah. Probably because he couldn't have a personal relationship. He had to go to those types of measures.
Well, that's how he got caught, but I mean, that's not what he got arrested for. He got arrested for being gay.
Yeah.
I mean, it was illegal.
No, I don't think so. I think it was, but I think at that point, because I had to rewind a lot during that part, because they started doing that British stuff, and I didn't quite understand. And I tried to take some notes. I think they were calling him like a pofter or something, and then they kind of made it sound like the guy was a pimp or something, and then they shook him down, and it said he paid for women. So I think in the beginning it was more of like they got him for prostitution before they found out that that he was actually gay. So I think that's what they got him on. So what it seemed like to me was they got him for like, I guess, solicitation.
Well, that's what I thought too.
Yeah. That's what the initial arrest warrant was for. Was like when they brought him in originally. Of course, the guy wanted to arrest him for being a spy, but the guy they called brought him in for the prostitution, but they found out that he paid a man, and being gay is more illegal than prostitution, or soliciting a prostitute. I mean, he was given chemical castration because he was gay, not because he solicited a prostitute. If he was
I think that's what it turned into. I think I think the initial initial arrest was, and then because when he was in there talking to the police officer, he said something about like, oh, because I got some little boy to touch my penis or something like that, and he's like I think he kind of gave himself away at that point.
Well, no, because the police chief even says, he paid this guy, paid a part, and a man at that. That's effing, or that's bloody disgusting. So they knew it going into it, the arrest, that he was doing it because he paid for a man to do that. So that's what makes it so effed up. what makes it even more effed up is the fact that even after hearing who he was, like,
They still did it.
they still went through with it. The police don't have to file charges. They don't. The state doesn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Didn't he even make that point at some point? Now that my fate is up to you. You've heard my story. Whether you charge me or not, it's up to you now.
yeah.
I guess.
And then the guy's like, I can't. I mean, I understand the law is, it's supposed to be, no special treatment, right? But I mean, this is the guy that won the war for you, right? For us.
Everybody.
But see, doing some more research on that, which I hope you guys haven't ruined me from watching movies, because now I start to ask questions about everything and do more research and figure more stuff out. And my wife's looking at me like, "What the hell is your problem? Just watch the freaking movie." But
Welcome to our
after
world.
doing more research, his arrest led to bigger things, and then they started going after higher authority figures, and there were two
it was a witch
guys
hunt.
who were
there
were two guys that were in the Air Force or something like that, and then they became, and they actually called it a trial show, that it was more about like blowing this up, and then they started finding out that like the upper echelon were also into these prostitution rings and the child prostitution and stuff like that. And I think the government was trying to get at the fact that like this stuff was happening around Parliament. So I think it was one of those, just he was the first one that they were going to hit, and then it grew from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like the Red Scare and everything else. It was the public got on a tangent, and unfortunately, that's what they were on a tangent about. That's why it's so dangerous. Why some things are happening right now in the United States.
Yeah. Well.
So.
Yeah, it's just okay. Look, I know we have a couple listeners who live in England, like they live currently in England, and if you're listening, one, hi, we love you for listening, and two,
You got to say it right.
I can't do a British
Say,
accent.
Good day.
Isn't that Australian?
No, Sam.
Oh, no?
Cheerio.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Cheerios, right?
Cheerio.
Cheerios.
How about
No.
hello? I mean,
Hey,
you
what's
gotta
up?
say you got to say it in British.
we don't have to. It's just you don't walk into a Mexican
Actually,
restaurant.
no, we don't.
Yeah, you don't walk into a Mexican restaurant and go, "Hola." No, you don't, because then
What? Why not?
Because then they look at you
Because you
like,
got to fit in.
no, you don't.
Hola, mi amigo,
they-
¿cómo está?
No, the first word is cerveza.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why
then-
people
then
hate
you-
Americans.
Then you tell them it's Sean's birthday and sing him song.
Then they put him on the horse. Yeah,
it's actually a burro. Isn't it usually a burro? And they put the big hat on. And
Is there anybody out there we haven't pissed off yet? Have we missed anybody?
usually in a
We've hit pretty much everybody.
yeah,
Yeah,
through
I had some fly lice earlier.
through the life of this show, we're actually pretty good at insulting most people,
Yeah.
including ourselves. So I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
but my point where I was initially going is that
Was hola?
was not that was the
Hola, British citizen.
was
Can you say hola with a British accent?
I don't know, Andrew.
We'll get on that.
Start practicing.
I don't know. It sounds that would sound.
Hola. Hola.
Hello, mate.
Oh my God, we just lost our.
We
English
lost our
listeners.
2 British listeners.
Two of them. Yeah. There they go.
Both of them are gone.
Yeah, again,
Back into the channel.
I mean, we might have more. I don't know, but there's
Yep.
I don't know. I think we only have the 2. But what do I know? I don't know anything. My point is that
It's probably a 6-year-old that pressed the wrong button on the iPhone.
yeah. Some poor kids, some poor mom is accidentally subscribed to our show, and no one ever listens to it over there. It's just, they just keep filling their phone with our stupid noises.
Yeah.
But my point is that we over here in America certainly have nothing to point at you and laugh and say, "I can't believe you guys did this."
Yeah.
And we have our own horrible history behind us.
Yeah. History should not repeat itself, but unfortunately.
But it just seems really. I've always kind of thought it strange that I always kind of thought of England as being the more of the progressive country. I mean, they abolished slavery 120 years before we did.
They were around a lot longer than we were too, so it's just
Well, yeah, but
in due time.
I mean, but they did it, while we were maybe not 100.
We were making money with it.
100 years, but I mean, like we were. Okay, not quite 100 years. I don't remember when they did it. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but not for this. My point. My point being is that it was still illegal to be gay going into the 50s.
Yeah.
There is just my point. Is like that just seems bananas to me. Anyway, have any of y'all seen the new Harry Potter thing, the new Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them?
No.
Yeah,
Not yet.
Sam, I know you've been kind of bedridden.
Yeah, I haven't been able. I mean, I'm hoping somebody's going to wheel me out for this Star Wars next week, but yeah, I've been kind of in the house.
There's this doesn't spoil anything, but there's a moment in the movie. So the movie takes place all in America, right? And so Eddie Redmayne goes there, and he meets. Ultimately, he would meet the president of the Magical Congress. That's literally what it's called. And you all right, Sam?
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
It's all right. So in the movie, in the Harry Potter world, they have the Minister for Magic, but a lot of the magic people have non-magic friends, Muggles. They have Muggle friends. They marry them. Yeah, in the new one, they're called Nomad. In America, they call them No-Magus, right? And in America, they're not allowed to have any No-Maj friends at all. You can't mingle, nothing. And Eddie Redmayne says, I find your kind of, stance on Muggles to be very old school and backwards, that you don't even, whatever. So we're painting the Americans as this kind of weird backwards kind of country where in the 1920s we weren't allowed to do that kind of thing. However, the president is an African-American woman. And all I could think of is, really? You're saying that the Muggles are so advanced in their social, stance that they would elect a African-American woman as president? One thing is saying something and the other thing is saying something else. That was literally my only issue with the movie, literally. And otherwise, very good movie. So, go watch it. Where am I? I don't know. Imitation Game. That part just was super sad and just such a waste that he killed himself. Spoiler. But it's been 2 years.
But I think the gay didn't play, the homosexuality didn't play into the movie as much as I thought it was going to. It seemed like it had its undertones, and the movie kind of went on, and that was, it had its parts here and there that they interjected it, and then boom, at the end of the movie it popped up. But like, I can't help but think this guy played God. I mean, at the end when he said, they were playing the little game in the police station or whatever, and he's like, something, am I a machine? Am I a monster, or am I like some hidden hero? And I think like the answer is yes. Like he was all of those.
All the above. Yeah.
He played God, for goodness sakes. I mean, like as many millions of lives that he saved, how many thousands were sacrificed because they literally chose who lived and who died. I mean, I'm thinking myself, gay, straight, or otherwise, I'm thinking that's got to play on your soul. I mean, when you sleep at night, what kind of dreams do you have at that point? I mean, people who are close to you had brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers, and you let them die, and you were okay with that. I mean, again, you got to sacrifice the few for the many, but I mean, man, I would think that would have had some part to play in all of that, that it wasn't just the homosexuality and the chemical castration and all that kind of stuff. I would have to think that humanity sets in at some point, and I think that had to play a pretty big struggle too. But at the end of the movie, they just seemed to focus on the homosexuality, and like that's ultimately what killed him.
I don't know. I look at it as this. He, he was a little off and kind of, I don't know if crazy is the right word, but like, he was, kind of one with his machine, his Christopher, which it wasn't called that in real life, but it doesn't matter. And the fact that he named it after his buddy, I guess, is what makes it interesting. His
Oh my gosh, I just put that 2 and 2 together right there. I never realized that watching it.
Yeah, he named it after the guy who taught him code.
Yeah.
So that's why he named it that, right? So he would always love a Christopher, right? And again, also JP, we talked about at the beginning of this show, he was Asperger's. So though he does have emotions, he's not a sociopath like Sherlock Holmes plays. He does feel empathy, but it's hard for him. So I would bet that what you and I would feel, the weight of so many deaths, might not have affected him the same.
That's true.
Maybe
he had logic.
Yeah,
he used logic to reason.
Yeah, logic was
those decisions.
Right, and he did what again he thought was best. I mean, there are, and maybe he did have PTSD. We didn't call it that back then, but maybe that's what he did have. Who knows? And maybe a combination of it and the chemical that they forced him to take, brought on his suicide. But, who knows? But it just, it was a waste. It's just what it is. It's a waste.
Absolutely.
Imagine how much farther as a society we could have come. If he would have been alive. Maybe he could have helped end. The Soviet, the Cold War sooner or something with code breaking and things like that. So,
well, I often wondered too, especially at the way that everything played out. I mean, him being in an all boys school. If he wasn't in an all boys, well, I mean, I guess back then, they separated the boy, the girls and the women and the men and all that kind of stuff. But it was like that was his best friend. That was all he had in his life. That was the only person who ever showed him any affection, So, like, did that lead him to be gay? I mean, like, was that his turning point? That there was only one person in the world who cared for him, and it happened to be a boy? Is that why he was gay? Like, if he would have had a girl that was, helping him out, would he have been straight? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I see what you're saying. I don't know if this podcast is... we're going to go into the nature versus nurture concept of homosexuality.
Oh, no. I got you. But I mean, I just thought, like, if that would have happened, would that have changed everything? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. That's all I can say is I don't know. And I'm going to leave it at that. So there's another moment in the movie that pissed me off, and I even said so to Sarah, my wife, and she just kind of gave me the look and kind of walked off. But so Turing, he's obviously doing the old Yeller thing, right? Where he realizes that it's now dangerous for Joan to be there, and he's trying to be the noble person, and he does the whole "I don't love you anymore, and I never did. I was just using you," blah blah blah, to make her leave. So why is it in every movie that this happens, we as the audience know exactly what's happening, and the person in the movie can't ever see it? I don't know why. That just annoys me. And of course Sarah says, well, it's because he was mean. I'm like, no, he's obviously doing it because he loves her. Like, that's obviously why, or cares for her, whatever. But I don't know. That's always pissed me off in movies. And when everyone they do that, it just drives me crazy.
Well, I think she did, though, didn't she? Because he said, I'm gay. And she's like, well, yeah, I kind of knew that, but she wanted to stick with him. And then when he dropped that bomb and she smacked him, she's like, yo, how dare you try to get rid of me, kind of thing. But I mean, I kind of think she knew. Right.
But again, she still then plays the angry card and then leaves him because she is mad. And then they never resolve it. They kind of stayed friends. I guess time heals all wounds kind of a thing. But it was whatever. It's fine. And also in real life, she never got to see him before he died. She never came back, but makes it nicer for the movie. Worst guards in Britain. Oh yeah, they're like when they all run back in when they have the idea. Anyway,
The Donald Trump moment. I thought that was kind of funny.
What was the Donald Trump moment?
The whole thing where he just looked at them all. He's like, "You're fired,
Oh,
all of them. You're gone.
yeah, you two are fired.
You're fired."
Yeah. Why? Well, you're mediocre at best, and we don't need you. Dang.
Yeah.
And it's also a shame that it took until 2013 to pardon him. I thought that was
Yeah.
kind of crazy. You ready for some clips?
Let's do it.
Some clippy clips.
Hey, wait, one more thing.
Yeah.
At the beginning, 800,000 kids were evacuated.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd they go?
To the other parts of the country.
Yep, to the country.
And like, who took care of them? Was that like
Did you ever
they had
see-
like one big nanny, or
Did you not ever see Chronicles of Narnia?
Oh, they were all taken to a wardrobe?
No.
A lot of
They all went
family
to
took them
Narnia.
in.
Yeah, other families took them in. People who lived out in the country who had bigger
And if they
homes.
didn't have families, they were pretty much given to strangers. Some of them.
Yeah, which is what happens in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah.
They were.
But I'm
they
thinking
were,
like 800,000. That's not
It's
like
a lot of kids.
a couple households.
Well, no, but I mean, imagine the city of New York needs to be evacuated. New York's a big state, so there's lots of other places for them to go. So, I mean, again, England isn't just the size of London. England is still a spacious country. So if they go off to other parts of the country, where it's less industrial, so there's no reason to bomb, for the Germans to bomb that, then it would be a safe place. That's what starts the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That's what kickstarts the whole series, is that the kids have to get shipped off to some little town in the middle of nowhere where there's a big house with the professor who has a wardrobe that takes them to another place, and then you get to see Mr. Tumnus and Xavier, the McAvoy Professor X.
Yeah, I did forget that was the beginning of that.
Yeah. It was on actually just the other day. We watched it. It was good. There you go. My first one. I wrote joke, but I don't remember what this is, so here you go.
Yeah, Turing. A mathematician.
Correct.
However could I have guessed?
Well, you didn't. You just read it on that piece of paper.
I think that's just good, again, he's not being funny. He's just it's who he is, and I thought he was great. Here's another pit clip from that moment.
And you don't think that qualifies you as a certified prodigy?
Well, Newton discovered binomial theorem age 22. Einstein wrote 4 papers that changed the world by the age of 26. As far as I can tell, I've barely made par.
My God, you're serious.
Would you prefer I made a joke?
Oh, I don't think you know what those are.
Hardly seems fair that that's a requirement for employment here, Mr.
Commander Denniston, Royal Navy.
Again, that back and forth, that quip back and forth. I think that's I like that kind of stuff. Somebody mentioned earlier about going over his head. Well, here you go.
Have you ever won a war, Turing? I have. Do you know how it's done? Order, discipline, chain of command. You're not at university any longer. You are a very small cog in a very large system, and you will do as your commanding officer instructs.
Who is your commanding officer?
Winston Churchill, number 10 Downing Street, London, SW1. You have a problem with my decision, you can take it up with him.
And by God, he did.
Yes, he did. Winston effing Churchill is what I wrote down.
Right?
Yep. All the way to the top.
I love it when the guy's like, but you're saying he can say that. No, I didn't say that, but Churchill said he could. Oh, that was good. That was good. I don't remember what this is. I just wrote imagine.
Sometimes it's the very people who no one imagines anything of who do the things that no one can imagine.
Good word. That's
What was that? Oh, you mean the phrase that was said 47 times in the movie?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, it was said a lot, but I liked it, and I don't care.
I did like it, and it took me 4 times to understand what they were trying to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that's
I
why
I'm
I.
glad they
it
did
was
say
hard
it several times.
It was really hard to understand Bumblebee
Yeah.
a few times.
Well,
Especially his voice is like not quite deep enough for the subwoofer or something, and not quite high enough for the other stuff. But it's like in a weird range that doesn't get picked up real well by my system here in the house.
yeah, he's got that nice baritone voice. I captured that one because Keira Knightley says it and the little boy says it, and I just liked his version better. It's a cool quote. Well, I mean, they say the May the Force be with you a lot in Star Wars, but, whatever. Here you go.
Maintain a conspiracy of lies at the highest levels of government. Sounds right up my alley.
I like it. And
when they were sitting at the table, did you see what the special was for the day?
No.
It was like the bomb shelter special or something like that. I'm thinking like, I guess even then they were having fun with it. I mean, it's like I guess your eggs got scrambled that morning or something.
Well, it was funny, and I've talked about this before, how I notice things when I go back and pull clips, is that this time, it didn't hit me until this time, but so these three people are in this quiet restaurant in what looks like a nice, upscale kind of restaurant somewhere in London, and they're having this very serious yet very calm conversation about basically how are we going to pick and choose which battles to whatever, right? And in the background is a truck that is unloading wounded soldiers. And so the kind of the dichotomy between these people calmly talking about the death of thousands while in the background there are wounded men being unloaded and taken into a hospital. Just that contrast was really smacked me in the face this time, the third time watching that scene. And it was very well done. I assume it was very intentional. So at least I'm going to give the director credit for it. This one was also one of the few moments in the movie where I actually kind of laughed out loud.
I'm just a mathematician. I know a lot of spies, Alan. You've got more secrets than the best of them.
You have to promise me that you will release Joan.
Yes, Joan's at the market. She's going to be back in an hour. I lied.
And
That's a jerk.
There's a couple things in that scene happening that I really enjoyed. So one is that he's basically Turing is pulling the what's his name? Harrison Ford, Alec Baldwin, the Jack Ryan movies. He's basically pulling a Jack Ryan. I'm not a spy. I just write books for the CIA, right? The other part that's kind of interesting is that as soon as Alan walks in, the music starts, right? And the music is this intense, just kind of driving. You can hear the strings at the beginning. And then the moment that the tension is lifted when he said, oh, she's at the market, then the music just stops. And all of a sudden the tension is released. Again, I thought that was really, really clever. We haven't mentioned the soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack was really good.
I did too.
It was very kind of it complemented everything. It was never, it's certainly not John Williams or Hans Zimmer. It's not anything that's ever going to be the focal point of the movie. But it just complemented everything quite nicely.
Well, I think right there, especially like you're talking about the tension. I mean, the things that had to be going through his mind at that moment, he was going to have to tell him who the spy was, and then that was going to come out that he was homosexual. So when he said, when all of a sudden that released, I mean, man, that had to be his whole world just came back to him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something else that just bothered me this time when you said that, JP, I don't know why it triggered it this time. But at the beginning of the movie, right, freaking M gets a telegram saying that Turing was robbed. He should immediately send his little MI6 cronies over to the place and flash some badges and get him out of there immediately.
Although they weren't telling anybody that this had happened. Basically they had disavowed him.
I mean, at this point it was over. They didn't need him. I mean, you know what I'm saying, technically.
Yeah, but they didn't know that they didn't need him. You know what I'm saying? They didn't. I can't imagine that a CIA, or not CIA, but an MI6 guy, as savvy as that man was, would allow an asset to just whatever. Now, he didn't know, at least we assume he didn't know that he was arrested when he was. But I still I don't know, in today's society, in today's movies, in today's, I just kind of feel like today, some government guy comes and flashes a badge and he gets to walk out the front door, and we don't know why, right?
Yeah.
Keep it.
But that would have drawn attention, right?
Why?
Why not? I mean, like there was the, you're the police. You're coming to check on this.
But this is
simple burglary.
1951. This isn't social media. Who's gonna notice?
Yeah, well,
You know what I'm saying? Like
it's also
all
not
the old
social
biddies.
media. I mean, is MI6 still watching him? Do they even know this is happening to him at the
They
time?
were watching enough that someone was listening to a police report and heard Alan Turing's name and thought it important enough to take it to the head of MI6. Like, they were keeping tabs on him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's frustrating. So now I blame him. I blame him. It's his fault. So there you go. It all comes back to him.
Maybe he looked at it as maybe the police were going to wrap up the loose ends.
I hope not. That's super cynical. Like, oh, well, here's a way that we can make sure that these secrets stay secret. I hope that's not real.
I would think that'd be the opposite. Once he got caught, singing like a bird.
Yeah, I still think that they would want him. Like, hey, we might need you in the fight against the Reds. I don't know. Whatever. I'm frustrated. I don't know why. It was 31 years before I was born, but still. That's okay. And this is the last clip I have.
Well, the judge gave me a choice, either 2 years in prison or hormonal therapy.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yes, that's right. Chemical castration to cure me of my homosexual predilections.
There you go. So, anyway, with that all being said, Tropes wrote down movie is told as a flashback, and info is from newsreel, and of course the old Yeller bit. There you go. You guys, do you have any tropes you want to add to the list there that you could think of?
No. The only other is just a common theme of outcast slowly becoming accepted by his peers.
Yeah. That happens a lot in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they kind of have to prove themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But don't we all kind of do that anyway? Like, like Andrew, you switched jobs as a band director. So when you get to your new job, don't you kind of feel like you need to show off a little bit to the kids so that they will trust you? The freshmen coming in, they don't know you. So like, it's like, well, fine. But these seniors, don't you kind of feel like
you have to prove you know your stuff.
Yeah, don't you kind of like you have to flex your muscles a little bit. JP teaches kindergarten, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, he could come in wearing Mickey Mouse costume.
You got to flex your muscles for those kids.
Yeah, he can come in wearing a Mickey Mouse costume, and he's sold. Right? They're like, yay!
That's right. You let them know that you've seen Phineas and Ferb, and they're on your side.
Right. So, and I kind of had to do that at this new job. I'm coming in as this new, director, for tech services and ops. And so, these students who have been running the building for the last year without a boss, I have to come in and kind of show them that I know what I'm doing. And I have, good ideas and stuff. And when they're, so I get, but the problem is that Turing didn't know he needed to do that. He didn't think to do that. He just went into the corner and did his own thing. So once Joan kind of pointed it out, you kind of need to do that. You kind of need these people to like you. And he come in and he told the funny joke about the bear, and then he gave everybody an apple. And then there you go. It was fun. So,
which, do you know that's how he killed himself?
Yeah.
Cyanide on the apple.
I didn't know it was on the apple. Okay.
Yeah, he put
cyanide on an apple and ate it.
Yeah. The rumor is that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was his favorite Disney thing. And that's kind of he was kind of reenacting the scene from that. So, but of course no one will know because.
So that's at the beginning of the movie when he's sweeping up the cyanide. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, one other theory simply is that he was just around these dangerous chemicals and he just accidentally inhaled too much and it just accidentally killed him. He was an accidental death, not a suicide. But most people think that it was suicide because the pain of the chemical castration was just too much and he needed to escape. Again, those rumors we don't know, and there's no way to know. Obviously, he didn't write it down. Anyway, so
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
Trivia. The account of how the team decided which messages to pass along is fictional. In real life, Stuart Menzies had the sole responsibility of deciding what method should be used and what percentage of intelligence should be passed. He and Turing did not work out a method. So I wish I would have read that before we had our long conversation about maybe he felt bad about stuff, because frankly, all he did was decode messages and pass them on, and M was the one that kind of made that decision. So he actually kind of wasn't playing God as the movie portrayed him to be. But then again, that's trivia from IMDb, and it could be way wrong. So I didn't really vet that anywhere. So if that's if that's wrong, I apologize. I can only read what I wrote, or what somebody else wrote. Winston Churchill stated that the Bletchley Park codebreakers made the single greatest contribution to Britain's war effort. In an interview with USA Today, Benedict Cumberbatch said of Turing's royal pardon, quote, "The only person who should be pardoning anybody is him. Hopefully," him being Turing, "hopefully the film will bring to the fore what an extraordinary human being he was and how appalling his treatment by the government was. It was a shameful, disgraceful part of our history," end quote. Commander Dennison says that he had just, quote, "rejected one of our greatest nation's top linguists, knows German better than Bertolt Brecht. Brecht. Yeah, sorry, Sam. I should have had you read that name. That linguist was undoubtedly J.R.R. Tolkien, writer of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings books, who learned German from his mother."
Jawohl.
There you go. So, there you go. Do we want to play the recasting game? Because I think, frankly, Cumberbatch was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was
This
nominated for
far
an
too
Oscar.
new to recast.
Yeah, and he was nominated for an Oscar for a reason. So, I think.
Yep. Well, do you see? Was it Leonardo was supposed to be what's like second in line for this part?
Yes, I did.
Wouldn't that have been weird?
I don't think I could picture that.
I mean, wasn't he? I mean, I might be way wrong, but wasn't he Gilbert Grape in What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Right. So I mean, he can play that kind.
No. He wasn't Gilbert Grape. He was Gilbert Grape's brother, if I remember right. I believe
No.
Gilbert Grape was the older guy.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp was the brother.
No, Johnny Depp was the older brother. So Leonardo DiCaprio was Arnie Grape.
Yeah.
So he was the one that actually had issues, right?
Oh yeah, he was fantastic in that movie. Oh,
right.
My gosh.
So I mean, I think Leonardo could have done it, and frankly, he probably would have won his Oscar before having to do The Revenant, which I have,
and be attacked by a bear.
which I have on my DVR upstairs. The Revenant, but I need to find time when Sarah's not around to watch it because,
Dude, it's hard.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a hard watch.
Definitely.
It's beautiful, but
graphic.
it's a hard watch. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Is that
It's
one?
literally like take the 30 minutes I was on the floor in the gymnasium, and like multiply that by 2 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it Bone Tomahawk hard?
Kinda in a way where it's hard to
Gut-wrenching.
watch
I mean,
sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like you're just like your insides are turning, and there's times where you just need to take a pause just to get away
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's hard.
It's man on so many levels.
I have heard that from several people that they came back from the theater. One of my coworkers from Charlotte said, like, "I'm glad I watched it, but I never want to watch anything like that ever again. It was just too hard. What men will do to each other and whatever, and apparently bears. Anyway, though I saw one of those things on Facebook where it was like 13 pictures to ruin your Hollywood whatever, and that it actually showed the picture of the guy who was the bear in The Revenant, in a big green suit with dots all over him. He was a dude. I mean, that's got to be hard to act when it's just this, 6'9" man pretending to eat you.
Well, wait till you see that scene. Good God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah, he earned his Oscar on that one. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I believe it. I mean, as many times as he's been passed up for really good movies, I mean, we all loved Wolf of Wall Street. We hated his character, but I can see why he was nominated for that,
Yeah, this was I just checked my Facebook on January 31st when I saw it this year. Here's my 3-word synopsis of The Revenant. cold, wet pain. That's about it.
Nice.
Bring a blanket. Watch it with a blanket.
Okay, that's good to know. I feel like that's one of those, like, you guys are telling me, like, I'm going to watch it and then immediately going to want to watch something, like, fun and happy right afterwards. So, like,
Yeah, put in, like...
I'll have the Lego movie queued up, ready to
you
go,
go.
or something like that.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Have them playing at the same time.
Oh, that'd be fun.
You know, so while he's getting attacked by the bear, you've got the everything is awesome.
Or I'll text JP and be like, we need to play video games right now.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
But not the Hoth level of Battlefield or Battlefield.
Yeah, definitely not. No.
The Hoth level?
Yeah, they're on Hoth where it's cold and frozen.
Nice.
Yeah. Though there's no snow monsters, but there are giant AT-AT walkers or whatever.
Sweet.
Everywhere.
Supposedly that's a thing, right? Did you guys know that? Like, that's a controversy, like AT-AT versus AT-AT.
Yeah.
Say that again?
So there's like this weird thing where like people who are considered to be true fans of Star Wars say they're not called AT-AT walkers because they're never called that anywhere in the movies. They're just called Imperial walkers or AT-ATs. In the video game that JP and I play, Battlefront for Xbox One, they refer to them as AT-ATs. They never call them AT-AT. So people are actually hoping that they call them AT-AT walkers in the new Rogue One movie so they can be validated. It's very strange. Anyway, whatever. Top 3. Decided to do Benedict Cumberbatch as our top 3.
This might be a real quick one. Just so you know.
Yeah.
I think we might all agree on the same 3 films.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that he's been in. I mean, he's been in some great stuff. He's just not been in a lot yet. His career kind of got started late. Like, we didn't start noticing him until Sherlock, and that was in the mid-2000s. So, Andrew, we'll see if we all have some of the same films.
Yeah, I have seen 3 Bonnie Ducci Comerhair movies and Sherlock. And Sherlock is a fantastic show.
Absolutely. I cannot wait for the
there
new
were more
season.
episodes
Yeah.
of this.
Well, it's out. They're out. They're just only out on the BBC. They're not on Netflix yet.
Right.
Yeah, waiting on Netflix to pick them up.
Yeah.
So number 3, the Hobbit: Desolation of Smaug.
Actually, I lied. They're not out yet. They come out in 2017. Sorry.
Yeah. Star Trek Into Darkness.
Okay.
And number 1, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
I never saw that.
See, I didn't like that one.
I heard, it was very British and very kind of...
Very stiff upper lip. Just
I liked it.
Wasn't.
But then again, that's my personality. Stiff upper lip.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Just because you can speak with a British accent doesn't mean that you're Robin Hood.
Unlike other Robin Hoods, I can speak with a British accent.
That's right.
Consistently.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, just stop trying, all right? Let's just do your normal American accent. It's fine. No one will notice. You sure? Yeah, man, we got, what's his name over there? Crap, what was his name?
Okafor.
Will Scarlet. Emeka Okafor. What is that name like in your brain?
Christian Slater.
You don't. Christian Slater. Like, you don't know sports. Why do you care about that? So weird.
I love it.
It's funny. Yeah, like you got friggin' Slater in that movie, and Morgan
And if it's
Freeman.
not British enough, we're going to throw in a Scotsman to be the king.
Oh, that was great. Alan Rickman was fantastic.
Wait. Wasn't Morgan Freeman in there as well?
Did God paint you? Yeah, he's in that. Yeah, he's great.
Did he speak with a British accent?
No, he's not British. he's
So I was about to say, I don't think I remember him trying an accent.
No, he's a Moor. He's Moorish.
Yeah.
So he had a little bit of an accent.
See, that's what happened. See, Kevin Spacey was with Morgan Freeman in the Crusades.
Kevin Spacey?
And when he was over there, you know how he kind of picked up an accent?
This was before he ran for president.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When you're with other people with accents, you kind of pick up their accent. That's what happened. That's why the Robin Hood.
So you're saying that he went to the Middle East and picked up an American accent?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
If we're saying the Moors equal American accent and the British equal British accent,
I didn't say that he had a.
That would make sense that he was picking up some English. I'm sorry, some American accents because he's around the Moors
I
over there.
didn't say Morgan Freeman had an American accent. I said he had a Moorish accent. He had an accent.
Yeah, it was like a Middle Eastern Indian type accent.
Yeah, I mean,
I have to see that. I don't remember. It's been so long.
So here's the funny thing about that movie. They actually made a director's cut of that movie, and I watched it about 5 or 6 years ago, and it makes the movie actually a lot better.
Really?
Yeah, because the whole weird witch down in the dungeon kind of a thing.
Latrine?
No, not latrine, but yes. Yeah, shithouse. She has a different kind of role in the movie, and there's actually like devil worship happening, and there's some other stuff happening. So I actually think that makes the movie better. Now it makes the movie a lot longer. It turns it into nearly a 3-hour movie, but
I need to get that. I love that movie.
Is there more waterfall shower scenes?
No, there's no more Kevin Costner button scenes. But obviously, I love the soundtrack enough that I use it in the intro of our podcast. So
yeah.
Which is still weird that Disney uses that in the intro of their little whatever, but because it's not a Disney movie, doesn't matter. JP, you're still here with us, right?
Yeah, man.
You're top 3, sir. If you've listened to the show, you know we do
Star
this,
Trek Into the Darkness. I had the whole Lord of the Rings with the Smaug. And the Imitation Game, and that was it. That's all. That's the 3 that I've seen.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll let JP break the rule this time because he's only seen 3.
And didn't know the rules.
Yeah, we typically don't allow the movie we've just seen to be in the top 3. Is the rule.
But then I only have top 2.
That's fine. That's happened before. Sam.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say my number 3 is Penguins of Madagascar.
Yeah, is it's classified.
Classified. Yeah, I love it.
Listen here, classified. No, that's not my name. The bit when Dave Skypes in.
Yep.
We can't hear you. Turn on your microphone.
Is it on? No, we can't hear you. Yeah, that's.
Is it that better?
Perfect.
No, now you turned on your microphone. We can see, but we can't hear you.
That's pretty much how we start each podcast.
Every
before we hit record.
podcast is like this.
Yep.
Oh yeah, good. Now every time a criminal mastermind calls in, we go through this. Sorry, I love that bit.
My number 2 would be Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness.
Khan. I am Khan. Wait, what? Oh.
My number 1, just mainly because he wasn't in it very long, but 12 Years a Slave was a pretty powerful movie.
I've not seen that.
So it's another one that's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Real hard.
Okay. My honorable mention would be
No one cares. Moving on.
Oh, wow. Wait. I have the microphone, so I'm going to go. My number honorable mention will be Amazing Grace. Which is the British. It's the movie of how the English and how they abolished slavery. It's a good movie. It's got what's his name in it? Your Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic. There, he's in it, and your Michael Gambon, your Dumbledore.
Yeah, the Ian Griffith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or isn't that his name?
Yeah, I don't know. And some other British people that we've all known. Toby Jones is in it. He's good. Anyway,
Michael Gambon.
Yeah, your Dumbledore.
Bend Over Coming Pictures in there?
He is in it, which is why I picked the movie.
Jeremy Swift?
Okay, yeah.
Nicholas Day?
You don't have to keep...
Mr. Fantastic, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Mr. Fantastic.
He headlined.
That's a stretch.
I see what you did there.
You see, I kind of just can't get... Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Number 3 would be War Horse. The old... not Shakespeare. Spielberg... we're just trying to Oscar.
Oh, it was Old Yeller horse, basically.
Yeah.
I refuse to watch those types of movies.
It's not Old Yeller the horse. It really
couldn't do it.
When you watch them, they're basically they're building up your happiness until they tear it down and destroy it.
They don't do
with
it
a
in the movie.
gunshot to the head.
They don't. The horse lives. Spoiler.
No
the
way.
horse lives the whole time.
He was turned into glue.
He was not.
Yeah, they probably ate him out there in the trenches.
Yeah, you probably used him on one of your science fair projects.
Chewing gum and Jello.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All of those things
I
happened.
refuse.
That's fine. It was good. John Williams did the music. It was a good movie. It had it also had what's his name in it. Your Loki was in it too.
Hiddleston.
Yeah. The thing that pissed me off in the movie, legit pissed me off, is that at the beginning of the movie, this is the start of the war. So they're like, hey, we're gonna go take all the horses from the towns, and so they take the horse, right? And then they legit do a horse bayonet charge into German fortified lines, and everyone dies.
Ugh.
It is.
Surprise.
You're just sitting there looking at them going, who thought that was still a good idea? Like, I know it's 1912, but shit. No, 1914, but I mean, good gosh. Like, anyway, whatever. People are stupid. That's all I'm going to say, especially then. Number 2, Desolation of Smaug, and number 1 would be Star Trek Into Darkness. So,
Smaug.
there you go. We actually have an email this week, believe it or not.
Woo-hoo.
Nice.
It is from our good friend listener Alan, who has been on the show. He's a good friend of the show.
Hey, buddy.
He says, "Hey guys, The Rock is on Netflix. Move it up the list and get it on the show now." Okay, sure. I love The Rock. I'm in for that. So, hell yeah. Thanks, Andrew, for having my back. So apparently last week when I was making fun of Alan and that dumb movie he made us watch, Andrew had his back. So, JP, I want your opinion. Did you see Dawn of Justice?
No.
Oh, well then.
Oh, wow.
Then
Okay.
don't watch it. It's terrible.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Your uppance will come, Sean.
What uppance? What? When all of the other movies that were teased in that movie finally come out and one of them is good? Is that my uppance? Whatever you say.
Yeah, they're all going to be good.
Are they really? Are they really?
Yes, each of them.
You think
will
so?
Be great.
I don't think so. I think they're all going to be. The only one I'm actually excited for is going to be the new Batman movie because Ben Affleck is directing it. It's the only one I'm
Really?
like, yeah.
Is what's his name still doing the voice? Not Bill Hader.
Michael Caine.
No, not Michael Caine.
The voice of what?
Yeah, he was great. Will Forte?
Will Arnett as
Will
the
Arnett,
voice of
thank
Lego
you.
Batman in the Lego movie? No.
Yeah.
They're still doing the voice of BB-8 in the new Batman movie.
Bill Hader is the voice of BB-8. Yeah. Anyway, this is always fun. Thanks, Andrew, for having my back. I still think you guys get better weekly. Aw, thanks. Hope Sam heals quickly, and don't forget my other requests, which I have completely forgotten. With honors and cadence. Hashtag save Andrew. There you go, Alan. Thanks, Alan. We appreciate it. So, Alan and Andrew are besties, and they've been texting each other nightly. It's actually pretty fun. I'm just teasing. So I forgot about the movie that he asked us to do. So,
did you say sexually pretty fun?
Did I?
What?
I don't think so.
You said he's been texting nightly. It's sexually pretty fun.
Did I say that? I don't think I said that.
It kind of came up cross a little bit.
Did it?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah.
Did you say actually?
Is that a frightening slip or something?
I don't
That is
know. I might need to
strange.
go back and listen to the tape here. I don't know.
I know we watched this movie, but come on now.
I don't know.
Yeah, man.
If I did, I'm sorry, and I wish I had if I actually didn't. So he wants us to do something called With Honors. This is how this works, people. If you send us an email and you want us to do something, it gets added to the list. And I don't even know what any of these movies are about, and I'm adding them to the list. So there you go. It's right there next to Knights of Badassdom, which what the hell is that?
That has what's his name from Game of Thrones, Tyrion, in it.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we have to do it then.
Oh, it was the one that I emailed you. Kung Fury.
Kung Fury.
Kung Fury.
Yeah.
It's like 30 minutes of your life you'll never get back, but I think it'd be fun to talk about.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess we can do that for 30 minutes. You know, half the episode will be. I mean, I can do like the entire thing and just for the clips. There you go. So thanks for your email again. If you want to, how do you send us an email? Well, you just send it to cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. We will read it on air and we will do whatever you want us to do within reason.
Sean is a pimp, and he will do it.
more like we're all. I don't know. Are we all whores? I mean, is that what we are? I mean,
I guess we are. We're movie whores.
We took people's money and let them to be on the show. So I guess
that's true. There you go.
I'm not quite sure how that works. Anyway, there you go. So that's that. Andrew, you're out of 10, sir.
Caught me off guard here.
Sorry.
Let's see. Out of 10. Well, I am a Ben Folds Cottonmouth fan, so I think that I'm going to go pretty high on this.
Okay. That was good. I like that one.
Thanks. Let's go 8.
Okay.
Wow.
Solid. Well, no, let me back it down just a minute. Let me say 7.8.
Don't let our reaction dissuade you.
Yeah, don't let them talk you out of it. I was like,
it wasn't the reaction.
Wait,
I thought it was kind of high when it came out of my mouth. Sorry. So 7.8. We'll go there.
So Sam, just so you're aware, JP last week went with the 7.654, and as a result, our average vote turned it into a 7.001.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be fun for you to add into the list.
I was about to say, do I go to the? Was it the thousandth?
I don't know.
On the website,
You're gonna have to pretty soon.
I mean, come on, thousandths.
Well, I mean, just for finest hours, we will. It's a 6.2875. So you're probably gonna have to.
Yeah.
Or the sum of all fears is a 5.6733333333. So never mind. I'm about to say corny. JP.
I'd give it a strong 8.
All right. Samwise.
I'll give it a good. Let's do a 7.27 bombs out of 10. Raining down on Sean's house from above.
It's interesting. It's 7.27. That seems high for someone who started. Andrew?
Sorry, I'm not sure what's happening here.
that seems high for someone who said at the beginning of the movie that it was boring and you didn't really like it that much.
Well, I said the first part of the movie. Once you got to like this guy and got to know him a little bit more and understood him.
Oh, okay.
Let's just say without Benedict Cumberbatch. Oh, I said his name right. I can't believe it. Without him as Turing, this movie could have quickly become horrible.
I agree.
He absolutely makes this movie.
What I did read some other trivia, and not just IMDb, but some other places that said that basically Turing's nephew saw the movie and said that Cumberbatch not only looks like him, but that was his uncle. Like that's the way he was. So he said they could not have done a perfect casting. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm not going to use Sam's little phrase where he said I had fun. It wasn't fun, but it was entertaining. It was enjoying. It made me have lots of emotions, whether it be awe-inspiring for what these men accomplished and frustration for what the government did to him. I find this movie just to be completely engaging. I liked the back and forth between the war story and his personal demons and the conflicts with his coworkers, and I just found it all well meshed, and I loved the writing and back and forth. So with all that being said, I was doing my prerequisite for Jen, to make sure that I say why I did like the movie. Got to keep our listeners happy. I'm going to give this an 8.15.
Okay.
Christopher machines in the other room. So there you go. I liked it a lot. Now, with all of that being said about this really fine piece of film, which was nominated for an Oscar, we're going to do something that was not. We're going to do a movie called U-571 next week, and I did this slightly on purpose. This movie is about how they get a hold of one of the Enigma machines. This movie is about that. So, with one small, tiny little thing that Hollywood is kind of bad at, in actual history, it was a British crew and a British sub, and we in America don't like England, so we had to make it all Americans. So this movie is about as factually accurate as Gladiator. Just going to put it that way. So,
and to our British listeners, what he
Wait, what are you
means
saying?
by that is Hollywood, not us.
Yeah.
We love British
No, Hollywood. The point I'm meaning is that Hollywood has to what we call whitewash everything, right? You put Jake Gyllenhaal as the Prince of Persia. Hollywood does this too many times, and they did it again. We got to find a vehicle for Matthew McConaughey. Well, let's do this movie about a real thing that British people did, but we'll make it a Texan. Okay, so.
Well, wait, what's that new movie coming out with the Great Wall of China? Is that Matt Damon? Who's the?
Yeah, I'm really
Saves
interested.
China. Yeah.
Yeah, from the monsters. I mean, nonetheless, but
So I will be interested to see if that is based on a book. Now, that movie with Keanu Reeves called 47 Ronin, that's based on an old Chinese book where literally a foreigner comes in to save the day. So that's actually one occasion where the white man comes to save the day. That's actually accurate, but most of the time it's not. Anyway, none of you guys watch the TV? I know, JP, you watched Last Man Standing, right? JP?
Hello?
Hey.
You there?
Yeah. Mute yourself.
Yeah. I saw it.
Do you watch Last Man Standing?
I have, yes.
Yeah. Sam or Andrew, do you guys need to watch that? It's
No.
the Tim Allen show.
I've seen a couple episodes.
We watch it kind of religiously. We think it's really funny. And he has a neighbor who is African American, and they're always kind of poking fun at each other, the race card back and forth with each other, which is funny. And they talked about Tim Allen said, "Andrew, you're killing me." He talks about how he's like, "Oh yes, I love it when a white woman has to come in and save all the black people. Like how that cute white woman started the revolution in the movie The Help." It was just funny. Anyway, there you go. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so U571 is next week, and so go watch it. Matthew McConaughey. I have seen it. I also kind of sadly own this one on DVD. Again, if it's from the 90s and it had explosions in it, I pretty much own it. Will it hold up? We'll find out because I haven't watched it in years. So that's next week. So, yeah, I've done my fiduciary obligation. What are we watching next week? Well, that's it. We're doing U571.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read the thing that Sam wrote in my script. So I've gotten a lot in 143 episodes, Sam. I've gotten a little bit better about that. With that having all been said, thank you guys so much for listening.
Oh, wait. I got to tell you, I finally saw a movie where I didn't think Chris Pratt was good in it.
Okay.
I finally saw not Ridiculous Six,
The Magnificent Seven.
Magnificent Seven, and I didn't buy him as a gambling alcoholic.
Really?
It just didn't work out. He just didn't seem to fit in that film. It was weird. So,
all right.
Just thought I'd let you know.
I want to watch that.
Yo, I appreciate you boys letting me come play with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you're not.
Yeah, man. Thank you,
Sam.
What?
If anybody else has broken legs, chokes on pretzels, or anything like that, can't make it, then feel free to give me a call.
Well, you're still on next week.
I don't think so, Tim.
No, you are, because Corny's gone next week.
Nope. Corny said he's going to be back the 14th, right? Is it the 14th?
No, he said he's going to be back the 21th.
Oh, I think.
Yeah.
All right then.
We'll talk about this off air. But anyway.
All right.
But JP we'll see JP next week, whether he wants to or not.
I'm in then.
Yeah, you're in. The beer is on its way.
Watch out, JP. Once you get roped in, he'll never let you go.
That's how Andrew is. That's how Andrew's here.
Yep.
That's exactly how it worked.
Yeah, I was like, hey Andrew,
I got the contract.
I'm gonna mail you something. Just sign it and send it back. It's fine. Anyway, thank you for listening to us. It's been a lot of fun. Leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever. Visit our website, cheapseatreviews.com. You will have to forgive Sam. He does all of the stuff at his office, and since he's been broke for the last month, the website will be a little out of date, but just bear with us there. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/cheapseatreviews. Follow us on Twitter @cheapseatcast. And of course, you may always send your emails to cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. U571 is next week, and I am excited for that. So, on behalf of Corny, who was not here tonight, who was doing his thing, but I know he sends his love, or at least his whatever. So on behalf of Corny, Andrew, Sam, and JP, who, again, thank you so much for filling in. This is Sean saying thank you for listening. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, and I will, we'll see you next time.